Hey, it is Speaking Facts in 15, and it is Wednesday. I'm your host, Charmaine Armstrong, Kiss Wealth Now, and I'm here with my dad, aka, right, my dad?
That's right. Co-host, Speaking Facts in 15. How y'all doing today? I want to say that the podcast is brought to you by Kiss Wealth Now, handling all of your commercial and residential real estate needs.
That's right.
I was moving around last week. This week, Charlamagne's moving around. You're in DC, right?
That's right. That's right. So we kind of got this on, and I just got to play this hook real quick because this is going to preface what we're doing today. What is it? We love it. It's a family affair.
Yeah.
So we keep it going, right? We keep it going because it definitely is a family affair. Hence, what we're going to be talking about today, family affairs, relationships that kind of come through common unity, right, Dad?
Yes. Yeah. And, we've been talking about relationships for a couple of weeks, really starting with having a good relationship with yourself and being at peace with yourself. When you are not at peace with yourself, then I think that some of the things we talk about today are the result of people attempting to have relationships with others when they're not at peace with themselves.
That's right. So what not much to do or, adding on and keep on adding to current events because we talked about, Carly Russell. This week, we're talking about the Atlanta brawl. And, there's been a lot of videos I tease when I says, I know I've probably seen bits and pieces of all the videos, probably 60 times. I can't get on my social media without seeing the beginning, the middle, the end, and then all of the combinations where people don't kind of put them together and put their own spin on it. We came out of, we got superheroes out of it. We got Olympic swimmers,
Yeah. Like you said, villains, superheroes, like you said, swimmers, there was a whole cast of characters,
Correct. Came out of it. But, what we're kind of talking about today, or what we want to talk about today, is how out of a common unity, relationships were formed, bonds were created, bonds that no one knew that were there. But because of a common unity, meaning many people saw someone being jumped on, that they came to the aid of that person. And so I think a lot of good things came out of it. Of course, there's always some naysayers on every side of it, but the relationships that have come from that, the bonds, the new unity, I think is great. It's fabulous. What are your thoughts, Dad?
Well, I like to see, resurrection. I like to see, positive growth, things moving forward in a positive way. I just wish that we did not have to have the brawl in order to get the relationships. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because really, you're talking about common unity. That is really the etymology for the word community. I say that all the time.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And in that particular case, the people that came to the aid of others saw themselves in a community. They saw themselves in a community and felt like they needed to come to the aid of that community. Now that community was where they were at that time.
Right.
But if we learn to live together, then the whole world will be a community. You know what I'm saying? We won't have to say, well, this community's doing this or this community's doing that, or this community, they stay away from that community, go to that community.
Right.
Because by and large, communities that you can call safe are becoming few and far between.
Correct.
I was watching the news this morning, and someone there were some people that had never had any crime in their area, and all of a sudden in the last 90 days 7 or 8 cars have been broken into, and in fact I think you're in DC, but here these police officers happen to catch these people breaking into one of the cars, so that's why it became newsworthy. But they had been hitting cars over there for months. Now of course, if I'm breaking into people's cars, I don't have any peace in myself. And minimally, I'm feeling so entitled that I feel like I deserve what you have more than you deserve what you have.
It's true. It's true. What going back, I was actually going back to look at the mortgage world, but I was talking with someone earlier today because they called me back and they were like, gosh, I feel defeated. I feel like this is maybe not going to work out for me. And I was like, but if this is and this was about collections. And I was saying to this person, these are your two collection accounts that you need to handle. So if you are, feeling derailed or sidetracked because you have to take care of something that that is yours and you do owe it, but for whatever reason you didn't pay it. And we weren't talking about huge, large, and again, definition or, my idea of huge and large, but literally these accounts with less than $1,700.
Yes.
Those are attainable goals, especially with collection companies. You now can call them and they usually will accept a what they call an agreement, and you can pay less and they will even still delete the account off your credit report. So I let them know, hey, this is something you got to do. And I said, only on TV does a person decide they want to buy a house, and the next day they're smiling, carrying boxes, and then the next scene they're flopping out on the couch. We're here, an old ideology. What's worth having, you have to work for. So if this is something that you're truly wanting to work for, then you gotta do your homework. And something that if it's about a community that you want to live in, no one's just going to give it away. You've got to do your part. So for these kids I'm assuming it was kids who were breaking into the cars, they're doing the wrong type of work.
Right.
The homework they're doing is how can we get more, but it's not to their, but to everyone else's demise. But yeah, I feel like everybody wants everything to be easy. And I guess that was my whole point with the story. The person who's breaking into the cars, they want it to be easy. They don't want to go work and go get the things that are in those cars. They want to just steal them, And for the person who's out there working, trying to accumulate things, maybe they don't want to go to work,
Well, yeah. And even, I believe that is a problem with relationships, is that people want them to be easy. And easy. Anything that is worth having is worth working for. I think you just said that.
That's right. That's right.
Real relationships, they'll be lasting. They will be rewarding, even comforting at times, but they're not going to be easy.
No, that's definitely not. Yeah.
There will be moments when those relationships are easier than others, for sure.
That's when you're sleeping. I'm just teasing.
Or when you're away from the people, huh?
Yeah.
We shouldn't be that way, but yeah, the relationships are worth, real relationships are worth working to have and to maintain.
That's right.
Anything in your life that you don't maintain is going to die. And I don't care if it's your car, I don't care if it's your clothes, your home, anything that's in your life requires some maintenance. And if you're not willing to do that maintenance, then that thing is going to die. It's going to cease to exist.
That's right. That's right. And I think I know we're all around the world today in our talk, but kind of going back to, I love how you say, if you don't maintain it, it's going to cease to exist. Out of this, Alabama, boat brawl came unities, came new relationships, and we're going to have to work to make sure that those relationships keep going, and that we recognize what it takes. And it was, honestly, my opinion, it was, everybody, says nobody condones violence, but nobody's above it. Everybody has the same thing, but just to know and see that people came together for what was, there was a big wrong happening. And even for the other people who thought that it was right to do what they were doing, but they couldn't have, but the unity that came out of it, standing up for the things that are being done to people that is wrong. That's huge. And I love how it came out, how the story ended, where, everybody was living, the people got some bumps and some bruises, but there was a huge lesson. And, and you can't just take advantage of people, and have things not happen,
And yes, and in the broader sense, if we are talking about successful relationships, you can have a relationship with someone that you don't know, ergo coming to someone's aid that you don't know in a situation like that. It requires like you were saying, a common unity. It requires that, something that you're willing to strive for, go down the road with each other, to do.
That's
And
right.
If we are able to adopt that attitude of caring about something other than ourselves, because today the problem today, is I see it, that the political climates that have been generated is about, if people don't agree with you, then they're your enemy. Eliminate them.
Right. And that's not, and that I don't this whole cancel culture. I mean,
Yes.
I don't like it.
Yeah. So the cancel culture does not create wholesome relationships.
It
It does
doesn't.
not create, the vitamin D, get your daily serving of vitamin D and vitamin C relationships. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't create healthy relationships. It creates it creates, well, just focus on self. The cancel culture just creates focus on self entirely.
And I see the videos all the time where it's like, if you don't like this, then it means that uh, there's all these different terms and craziness, and we don't want to get off on that tangent or go down that slippery slope. But I think that everybody should have the ability to have their beliefs, whatever that is, and not be taken out and hung out to dry, or not be completely shut out because someone doesn't like it or doesn't agree, And I can definitely say that in relationships, no one's ever going to always totally agree. You have to agree to disagree.
Right.
And that's just, I think, a place that, as a huge community, that everyone has to basically be okay with, whether or not, whatever community that you're in, everybody's going to have some disagreements. Like, I've seen several videos of white people talking about the events, and how there's white poor communities, and there's obviously black poor communities, but those communities have more in common than what they think, or the white person who says, well, flip the script and imagine it was a white person that was being jumped on by a whole bunch of black people. And it's just like, that wouldn't even happen, but it's just, I think it's just a way to make excuses for
bad behavior,
when that's not the case. No one's promoting it, but what came out of it was a lot of positives. And so with even case in point, that situation, everyone just has to agree to disagree, because everybody's going to agree of what should have happened, what could have happened, what didn't happen, and what did happen.
But if they agreed to disagree before the violence started, it would have never started. And that's the thing about having relationships with people in an environment,
respecting people for doing their job, whatever that is.
It's you don't have to, a lot of time when people don't understand, they want to fight about it if they don't understand. And I say this a lot on our podcast, but in the words of Morpheus from the Matrix, understanding is not a prerequisite to cooperation. So I don't have to understand you to cooperate with you. Those people that jumped those other people, obviously they didn't understand what they were doing there, or didn't like what they were doing. But that lack of understanding, still they could have cooperated and not just been drawn to violence just because they didn't understand.
That's
what I'm saying? Just simply because they didn't understand the way the people looked, or what they were doing, or the way they were carrying themselves. Yes, we have to realize that if we don't understand something, that doesn't mean we have to fight about it.
That's right. We definitely don't have to fight about it.
Right.
Because the way I feel today, chances are I may feel differently tomorrow. And that's just, that comes with life. And that, as they say, keep living, as we mature, as we experience new things, it's always a matter of opinion. So
our perspectives change. I was listening to, and maybe some of our viewers and listeners will know who they are and some won't. But I was listening to Pete Townsend today.
There goes some family.
I was listening to Pete Townsend today. He is the what's up, y'all? Pete Townsend is one of the founding members of the band, The Who, and they made a song, My Generation. Talking about my generation, and in one of the lyrics it says, "I hope I die before I get old." And Pete Townsend is almost 80 now, so he was saying, I might have rethought that lyric if I had really thought about it. I would have written something different there. I didn't want to die before I got old, and I still don't. I want to get older.
Yeah, so, I want to keep living.
So our perspectives will change. Is the point?
That's right. Exactly.
And fighting about a perspective today means that you could actually end up hurting or killing someone for something that you don't even care about tomorrow.
That's right. That's right. And so we I think relationships and this topic is huge, and there's still more. There's more, and this is not something obviously brand new. I mean, we've been working on it a long time. I think most people's troubles, come or even happiness come from relationships. So definitely is a good topic, and we definitely want to keep rolling with it. But we are in our ish period, and today we're going to go to the African American Museum, so we got to get over there to that. But I love doing this with you. I love our relationship, and how we even have grown even more in our relationship, and will continue to grow, and hopefully help others grow in theirs, just with the topics that we talk about.
Yes, that's it. We just want to just share what it is to have a healthy relationship, to have and to promote healthy relationships. Healthy relationships will virtually stop violence. Healthy relationships will virtually end all kind of failures. Healthy relationships will minimize divorces. Healthy relationships will minimize family violence. You know what I'm saying? Healthy relationships will minimize people fighting about political views, fighting about the color of people's skin, fighting about all of these things. Healthy understanding and striving to have understanding what healthy relationships are and striving to have them will help just help us all to have a better life. I believe that I think I had told you about a psychologist, Dr. Ufani. I believe he's going to be on with us next week. I have to confirm that. And I'll see if he wants to continue with the relationships, or since he is because his practice really deals with health of Black men.
Black so yes, that's important, and it's important for Black men to have healthy relationships, so they can learn from one another, and then raise up other young Black men in a positive light. So we need Black men to be heads of our family, so we can raise up young kings and young queens. We need people to step back into those roles and to be trained to not just okay, you're 18, get out there and and go for what but train people up. The Bible says train your children up in the way they should go. That's right. So if we're not training them, then they don't know which way to go. So that's right. But yes, we are in our ish session, and I don't want to keep you guys from getting to the African American Museum. They're in Washington, in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. So that's right. Very quickly, our grandson has been showing his abilities for someone. Say it again, Dad. That's it. Very quickly, our grandson has been showing his abilities to someone. Baseball. Yes. Baseball. Yeah, he Prince George College down here. He went ahead and came and worked out with the coach down here, and we're praying for big things for him. They definitely want to see him some more, and he set up his profile today for UNCF. So we're just trying to get him set up, because this is his last year. Next week will be his, I think Tasha said, his first last day of school. His first day of school. His last first day of high school. That's right. Yeah, exactly. First day of high school. That's right. Well, I want to congratulations to him, and y'all just keep on doing it. I was in fact, I'll have to even have you on our nonprofits podcast. But we were just last week we were talking about keeping, because what our nonprofit does, we work on promoting
kids staying out of trouble, like staying away from risky behaviors and all these kind of things, vaping,
Right.
violence, and all this kind of stuff. Staying away from teen pregnancy, all these things that we promote.
Right.
So we were talking about how keeping young people active helps to keep them away from distractions, or keep
That's
them from
right.
being overcome by distractions. And I was
Right.
telling them on the podcast, I said, my daughter has kept my grandchildren busy their whole lives. I said,
Yes, they always got something to do.
yeah, cheerleading and sports, but they were busy, but they
Mhm.
didn't get in trouble. They were busy. So again, my applause to you for just doing that.
Thank you. Making sure they stay out of trouble.
We are
Look
definitely
at, and because I had to work hard for them, I stayed out of trouble.
oh yes,
It's the cycle keeps
it's
repeating.
a
Everybody
cycle. Yeah,
keeps
keeping them
repeating
out
this stuff. Yeah, that's
keeping them
right.
out of trouble,
So
keep you out of trouble.
well,
So
all right. Well, okay, it's a family affair. We're going to take this on out here, and we appreciate y'all for tuning in. And we will definitely talk to y'all next week.
that's right. And until then, love yourself, and then you can love somebody else.
That's right. That's right. Speaking Facts in 15. We'll see y'all next week.